Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. Hope your week has been going well. And for those of you that are new to my channel, I'm Gwen, a 67-year-old woman of transgender experience, currently documenting the rest of my transition. So as far as my weekend went, excuse me, still a little nasally, but anyways, as far as my weekend went, as I spoke last week, we went to Keystone Conference, which was really wonderful, and I did take some pictures. So Thursday we drove down, and I was kind of dressed casual, jeans and a blazer, and we got there early afternoon, and we were able to make our first seminar, which was put on by Seattle Voice Labs, which I am a graduate from, and I got to see my voice coach in person for the first time. When I'd gone through the program, it was strictly on Zoom, and this was the first time we ever met in person. It was really sweet and wonderful. We saw each other as I walked into the seminar room, and he came running over and I came running over, and we're hugging each other and almost ready, both in tears. And then he goes over and he starts hugging my wife, and he's like, first time I've ever met you, but I've heard so much about you. I got to meet Claire Michelle, who is the owner of Seattle Voice Labs. Absolutely wonderful person. Oh my gosh, she is so sweet, so wonderful. After the seminar was packed. They had chairs for about 25 people, and it was full, absolutely full. So after the seminar, my coach and Claire and my wife and I stood outside the room and probably talked for another 15-20 minutes. Oh my gosh, it was so wonderful. So then later on, a friend of mine, Angie, who I've known for a while, she was at the conference, and she took us out to dinner, which was really sweet of hers to do that. So we had dinner. Oh my God, it was a really awesome dinner. I had this stuffed chicken breast that was just, it was just so good. And so there was pretty much about Thursday, done with Thursday. Friday, I have to back up. And I did change Thursday. Prior to the seminar, I did put on a skirt, black skirt and white top. So I was dressed very nice for the seminars and for going out to dinner. So Friday we stayed at the hotel, had breakfast there. We took in a couple of seminars, and I still wasn't feeling up to par. So, we kind of chilled in the room for the rest of the day. It wasn't anything really major. So, we didn't bother. We didn't even go down for dinner. We didn't have. We were on our own for dinner. So, Saturday, we attended Saturday after breakfast, we had a seminar together, and the seminar was mixed orientation couples, and it dealt with the fact that my wife, who is a heterosexual female, is now married to her partner, who is a lesbian female. How do you handle that dynamic? It was really kind of interesting. We were one of 4 couples in the room who all discussed, and they were all at different points in their lives. One couple, actually the moderator and her partner had just started socially transitioning within the past year. Another couple, they've been married 39 years, and that partner transitioned 15 years ago. No, I'm sorry, 10 years ago. There was the third couple. They've been married 35 years, and the partner transitioned 15 years ago. Then there was, of course, us. There's a licensed social worker in there whose partner had transitioned. Let's see, they were married 25 years, and the partner had transitioned 10 years previous, but sadly enough, the partner passed away last year. But the social worker felt, it wasn't an obligation, but she felt to honor her partner that she would come to the seminars, which was really, really good. I mean, she had such a wealth of information. It was just absolutely amazing. So we walked out of there, and it wasn't anything earth-shattering as far as something new to learn, but it was more a case of just some more knowledge for us in moving forward. So then we had lunch, and we actually sat at a table with some first-timers. One of them was a very sweet and wonderful woman who, I'm guessing she was probably late 20s, maybe early 30s. She was from the west side of Cleveland, Ohio. Really, really wonderful gal. We had quite the conversation with her. In the afternoon, my wife went to a seminar entitled How Do I Move Forward? It was strictly for spouses and significant others, so I was not invited to it, which was perfectly fine because the seminar I went to was how to avoid anti-trans violence, which is very interesting. The presenter was ex-Army. I think she said 1st Airborne. And then after getting out of the Army, she was part of Immigration and Naturalization Services, working Border Patrol. And she is, I think, ex-U.S. Marshal. And she realized 30 years ago that she was bisexual. Recently, she has been dealing or coming to terms with the fact that she is actually not so much bisexual. She may still be bisexual, but she's really transgender, which of course is two different things. Sexual orientation is one thing and gender is another. Your sexual orientation is fixed from birth. You have no choice. You are what you are. Your gender is fluid. You can change it. Prime example is myself. But anyway, she says she has been transitioning as female for the past 13 months. She's, what did she say, 57? She was a wealth of knowledge on certain body language that an aggressor will exhibit, different body movements, different movements, different body movements, different languages, things to look for. Typically when somebody that wants to commit act of violence is ready to act, they will sweat, and it's due to adrenaline, and the body odor is actually different than it would be from the sweat you would get from like working out or exercising or whatever. So she brought a lot of things to look for when out in public. If you're going to some place that you have never been before, you identify potential escape routes if you need it. She says that there's certain methods that whether it's someone that wants to commit an act of violence by themselves or a group, certain things that they will do, they will try to herd you into an area where there is no witnesses. You'll see them looking around to see if there's any witnesses. They will try to herd you into an area where there's no escape routes. And so she gave a lot of tips on how to deal with that. Very, very interesting. Oh my gosh. It was her first time doing a seminar. She did run over about 5 minutes and she apologized, but I'm thinking, oh my God, this was awesome. This is just so much wonderful information. I would like to see if she has something more on. She did give a website. I haven't had a chance to get there yet, but I'd like to see if there's more information online. I think that would be really, really helpful in the future. So then after that, we got ready for the gala ball. I had on a nice, it's actually, pictures just don't really bring it out, but it's a sparkly rose gold gown that I wore with emerald green earrings and a necklace. So we went we went down, actually we were up on the 9th floor, but down to the gala ball. And we walked in, and there's, of course, a lot of the tables were already taken, and my wife says, well, there's one way up there, up near the front. And I'm like, okay. So we went up there, and we wound up sitting next to an older gal. She's 70. She was an airplane mechanic from Florida. Oh my gosh, she was amazing to talk to. So, and I took a couple of pictures, one from our table, looking my line of sight towards the other end of the ballroom, and then one behind me. And the table behind me happened to be one of the organizers that we have gotten to know. She's a life coach. She was there with her sister, who is also a transition female. And it was really, really a lot of fun. So the meal was really awesome. It was delicious. And then they brought out the guest speaker, Gabby Tuft. For those of you that may not know about her, she is a former bodybuilder. I think she was a WWE wrestler. And as she put it, she was 260 pounds of solid muscle. Oh my gosh. Well, her story was incredible. She talked about how she knew from a young age that she was different. How as a teenager in the 80s, she started dressing, and when she was home alone by herself, started dressing in her mother's clothing and how comfortable she felt. She was, I guess, scared of possibly someone finding out, and outside the home felt that she could be potentially bullied. And at that time period in the 80s, of course, there was what was called gay bashing, where groups of people would actually go around and grab gay men and beat the crap out of them, and sometimes even kill them. Matthew Shepard is actually a good example of that. So I think that's what got her into bodybuilding. And she did have quite a remarkable career. She did not bring it out, but I think a turning point for her was 12 years ago. Her brother had committed suicide, and when something happens like that to someone very close to you, it really alters your line of thought, and you have to you kind of reflect back on what's really important in your life and what is important to you. And I think at that point it was a turning point for Gabby. Later on, her wife had encouraged her to start presenting publicly. So she did. She did reflect on one incident where she was in a mall, and there's always, there used to be, I mean, a lot of the malls are gone now, but anyways, there used to be survey takers in the malls, and this one survey taker kept pestering her for a survey and kept misgendering her and calling her sir. Well, she eventually did get out of the mall. She says, I went back to my F-150 truck. She goes, I got inside. She goes, I didn't even start it. She goes, I sat there and cried for 30 minutes straight. She goes, I just couldn't stop. And she admitted, she goes, my bubble of disillusionment popped. And the bubble of disillusionment is this perception that you have as you transition of what you think you will look like. And for her, when it popped, she's like, I will never, ever look female. I will never be the female that I have always desired to be. So she drove home, and luckily her next door neighbor, who was a very conservative ex-military drill instructor, who strangely enough accepted her for who she was. So anyways, Gabby says she got a pistol out of her safe, racked around in the chamber, called her neighbor and said, call my wife, tell her to pick her daughter up from school and do not come home. So the neighbor had the foresight to realize that there was something wrong, and instead of calling Gabby's wife, went over next door to Gabby's house and convinced Gabby to give him the gun, which she eventually did, and they got her into therapy, and she has since been able to move forward. She says she's been in transition about 3 years now, and she said, I don't know if she admitted that she's like, I will never be this beautiful, gorgeous woman, but she said she now feels very comfortable in the skin that she's in. So, and she knows that she's making the right path forward. That was pretty much the extent of her speech. The interesting thing I noticed was she just didn't stand on the stage at a podium. She started off at the podium, walked down a couple of times, walked across the big dance floor, walked around it back and forth numerous times, and stroke of luck, because we're at one of the front tables, at one point she was like 5 feet from me. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. Near the end of her speech, she was actually moving around some of the tables and not so much really interacting, but she would walk by some of the guests, and she pat them on the back or pat them on the shoulder, something like that, as she was talking. So she got all done, and she got a huge standing ovation, and you could tell she was very, very moved by the ovation. Well, the applause and standing ovation that she got. I mean, the look on her face from all the support and love that she got, she was really, really touched. Very, very personable person. She was absolutely amazing. So let's see. So we packed up and left Sunday morning and got home Sunday afternoon. Unpacked everything, back into the grind of back to work on Monday. And here we are Tuesday. For myself, the interesting thing is last year when we had gone to Keystone, and it was the day after, it was that Monday, I had to go back to work. And prior to leaving home, after spending 4 days as my authentic self, getting ready to leave for work, I had an emotional meltdown. It just all came out. I was probably a basket case for about 10 minutes till I got myself together and was able to go to work, but even that was a struggle all day. I was thinking about this driving into work yesterday. And I'm like, well, this year I feel different. Why? Why is that? I don't know. Then I'm like, well, a lot's changed in a year. I'm a year further down the road as far as my transition. I've had 2 out of my 3 surgeries. I had my face done. I had my bottom surgery. Even bottom surgery had a profound effect on my mind. What dysphoria that I had prior to surgery was actually in the form of what's called imposter syndrome. Yes, I looked like a female. I sounded like a female. I could present as a female, but I knew as long as I had this part down here, I wasn't female. After surgery, that part's gone. And now I know I am a female. And with that imposter syndrome is gone. And with that, the dysphoria is gone. So anyways, back to driving into work. So I'm thinking about, well, gee, the past year, further a year down the road in my transition, I've had 2 out of my 3 surgeries. I feel different. I am different. All my gender markers have changed to say female. So, it was a profound effect on me the past year that I just never really realized until after attending this past Keystone Conference. And I'm like, wow, this is really amazing. I'm not having that emotional meltdown that I had last year, and I just feel so much different. And a lot of it's because I feel my authentic self, and I'm living my authentic self more and more every day. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So that's pretty much about it. And I have to explain, last week I know I was on and I said I had a cold. No, I don't have a cold. I actually have RSV. Because it got to be Sunday and my sinuses were still full, my nose was running and I was coughing, and I'm like, a cold does not last 7 days. What the heck is going on? And I just by chance happened to do a Google search for RSV symptoms, And what it came back with, I had every one of those symptoms at some point during this whole thing. So every day since Sunday has gotten a little bit better. I'm just slightly stuffy, and it's this side of my nose only. Everything seems to be on the left side that's wrong with me. My sinuses, my rib cage is lower, my breast is lower. There's something wrong with the left side of me. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just goofy. I'm just messed up. I'm born weird. So, anyways, every day I feel a little bit better. Like I said, I have a little bit left of this. My voice is Thursday, because I wanted to talk so much in my authentic voice Thursday to both Nathan and Claire. I just couldn't. It kind of come out like this, kind of gravelly, and Nathan understood, and I'm like, I feel so horrible. And it wasn't until Saturday that I started to get my voice back, and it's still not there, mostly because I still have that postnasal drip and I'm still coughing up. So, but every day has gotten a little bit better. So hopefully, the next couple days I'll finally be through all of this. Finally. So, let's see, back to where I was. I think that's pretty much it for me. Big plans for the weekend. Well, it's Easter weekend. My wife, my daughter, and I are going to go get our hair done on Saturday. No big plans that I know of for Easter. I think it's just going to be the four of us. My wife, my son, my daughter, and myself. Yeah, I think that's about. I think that's all we're going to be doing. So we may not do anything much for Easter. Going into next week. Ooh, let's see. Well, actually, I do have a dermatologist appointment on Friday. Even though my face has cleared up quite a bit, I still have some scale on my head and the top of my scalp, and we'll see what he has to say about that. Of course, I'm still dealing with the hair loss, but that's why I'm still wearing my wig. But still, that even looks to be improving a little bit. So I've noticed. I think it was, what day did I take a shower? Sunday night. And I noticed that I had no chunks or big chunks of hair coming out in the comb. So I think I have turned the corner as far as that goes. Now it's a question of getting the hair to start to regrow. It will come back. It will take time. Lots of protein, lots of biotin. That will help as far as the process goes. I do have, from my HRT doctor, he has a proprietary blend of hair growth serum. It uses, minoxidil, finasteride, durasticide. They're all known for hair growth. He has it made into a compound, and that goes on my head. I also do some of the old school remedies, like rosemary oil with coconut and cold pressed castor oil. Let's see, pumpkin seed oil is another one. I've been trying that. So this is all takes time. So anyway, so Friday I have a dermatologist appointment as far as next steps go, as far as dealing with my psoriasis. Next week, really not too much going on. The following Friday, April the 5th, I go back to see my cardiologist and get to find out a little bit more about the heart or lack of heart issue, now that we know that there is no recurring AFib. So nothing really too much. Actually, April's going to be kind of a quiet month. I do have, let's see, after the cardiologist, I think I have a dentist appointment, big deal. And then I have a sleep doctor appointment. I mean, well, it's first time in probably almost 10 years that I've been checked for my sleep apnea. So I'll be doing that. And then the end of April, I'll be retiring. So that'll be a whole new chapter in my life. Even though I won't be retiring from work, I will still be doing 20 hours a week as a contract employee. So, but that's down the road. So, I guess I got everyone all caught up as far as what I'm doing. So, with that, as always, if anyone has any comments or suggestions or topics you would like me to talk about, please in the comment section below. I hope everyone has a wonderful and fantastic rest of your week. For those of you of the Christian faith that celebrate Easter, I hope you have a wonderful Easter weekend. And as always, stay safe, stay warm, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you all here next Tuesday. Bye, everyone.